Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the UUFDC Dickinson Poetry Series. We're delighted tonight to welcome Brandon Thomas. He's from the Fox Cities, where he writes music, does art, and writes poetry, of course. And has a family with a wife and two daughters, right? So we're glad he braved the wild winds to come up today, and he'll read for us. And so welcome him, please, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, you touched a little bit on my intro, which is good. I have a family, two daughters, and a wife, so I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But since high school, I've been doing music. I've been writing poetry. I'm not really doing anything with it until now. So it's a new journey. It's a new chapter, if you will. But my book just came out. It's called Beacon Light, Volume 1. So more to come, obviously. But you can purchase it on Amazon. That was a whole process to figure out as well. But this journey of writing lyrics and poems and being an artist, that's always been who I am. So so it's been kind of 20 years in the making of doing this. So I'm gonna read some things from this tonight. And let's see, did I forget anything else? Long overdue celebration of one writer's humble attempts at poetic stylings is what I wrote on the back of the book. My hope is that you would be moved and encouraged by the written word. Let's see. What else I wrote on the back of here is topics range from nature, faith, difficult situations, as well as trying to comprehend the beauty and pain around us as we live these complicated and brief lives. So I'm actually going to start tonight with the title poem called Beacon Light. Beacon light on the shore, giving me hope, guiding me home, showing me where to go. I've been lost at sea. It was dark and bleak. Fear clung on to me like cold ocean breeze. Beacon light shining bright, finally in sight, cutting the night, revealed a course that's right. Navigation was off, the crashing waves rough. Thought soon I'd be sunk, battered I'd had enough. Beacon light on the shore, giving me hope, guiding me home, showing me where to go. This next one is actually was written my senior year of high school. We had a project where our teacher made us go out into the woods and we had to write. So I chose to write a poem every time we were out, and this was my favorite one from that project. It's called Enchanted Moments. Sparkles of white glistening, shadows of trees falling, whispers of wind surrounding, ears of the forest listening, enchanted moments. Laughs of children playing, angels of snow creating, sounds of birds calling, in dead of winter laying, enchanted moments. Sparkles of love giving, shadows of wings covering, whispers of life thriving, ears of trust living, enchanted moments. Last night I was in Stevens Point at a poetry reading there. And there was about 30 people. Everybody was very supportive. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm trying to get around to all the places. So you guys are very attentive, so thank you. Before I read this one, I think there's a big difference between last night's event and tonight's. So I feel a little bit more comfortable sharing some more of the faith side of things tonight. This one's called Fashioned. Some say old-fashioned, but maybe I'm just fashioned from a different material, 'cause I focus on different material. Not concerned about mass appeal or sex appeal, if we could only just reveal our true character, 'cause I'm scared of our directions and our collections of misguided affections, to which I claim a few. And so few know what to do with their problems and issues. I subscribe to a different issue to get me through. But I'm not through. No, I'm not done. There is a way through what he's done, which is not limited to only some, the only Son, nailed and hung like a picture of forgiveness. Forgive this sinner all my mistakes, so you can take advantage and make sure that I'm fashioned in you. That was my first time reading that one. This one's called Every. Every line starts with every. Every breath a gift, every moment cherished, everything given, every hope you've lived, every chance to embrace, every thought to engage, every song that's raised, every step to a higher place, every peace after strife, every new day after night, every dark tunnel to light, every death into life. I'm all out of order with my tabs here. Luckily, I opened right up to the next one. This one's called Enamored. Cloud patterns sculpted as they fly, painted background, blue and white. Tree-lined sides in a row, looking upward from below. I see the beauty, see the light, raptured by this sensory flight. The sun is shining through, enamored with a heavenly view. This metaphor I can't ignore. And now for a fun one. So I did play with some structures in this. I did quite a bit of writing over the last year or so to try to beef up the book and make sure there was enough material. And so the form of this one is only 2 words per line. It's called No Cares. Kids splash, cold drink, no shoes, don't think. Sunshine, warm sand, eyes closed, no plans. Light breeze, gentle sea, palm trees, at ease. No clouds, fresh air, salt water, no cares. Another fitting one for our environment here. This one's called The Sunday Morning Choir. A symphony of singing with their choral arrangement bringing, from every angle taking flight, melodious delight. Into the sky they cry, into the air they share, each part of sound a rhythmic round. A Sunday morning in spring, could they be worshiping? in their branch pews, singing to you, the harmonious song, loud and strong. I listen closely as it goes, their tune echoes, and starts my week with chirps and tweets, lifting it higher, the Sunday morning choir. So I want to take just a moment here to kind of switch gears. I mentioned that I'm a songwriter as well, and I thought it would be interesting to share with you some lyrics tonight from a few of my songs. And this first one is probably one of the more recent songs that I've written, so this is my first time reading them as a poem, so we'll see how this goes. Better than before. Wanted to say everything that I had to say. The only trouble was I opened my mouth and none of those words came out. Wanted to be everything that I thought I could be. I struggled just to know what that was. And I thought if I could be better, things would be better than before. Better than before. Wanted to leave everything behind. I couldn't keep chasing all the things dragging me down. Somehow they came back around. Wanted to think everything was fine. Back of my mind. Thought if I could try harder than I could make you proud of how things are now. And I thought if I could be better, things would be better than before. Better than before. Now I'm further down this road, seeing the ways I've grown. Scars and pain have shown. Am I better than before? And I thought if I could be better, things would be better than before. Better than before. Not a bad idea. So I took a little bit of a churn about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. No, it was during COVID. I started writing some kids songs, and I started having a lot of fun with this, and really got to do a little bit more comedy with my writing, and just a lot of wordplay and a lot of fun writing these kids songs. And so I actually have some of my CDs I brought with tonight, including my kids' album. So this is one from my kids' album called Words with Multiple Meanings. You can pick your friend for a game of dodgeball. You can pick up dirt or use a pick to strum guitar. Snap a pick or even try to pick a lock. You can grab a pickaxe and start breaking up some rocks. Words with multiple meanings. You could send a letter, yes, a handwritten note. There's musical notes in this song that I wrote. Play at the park, or you can park a car. There's bark on a tree, or you can hear a dog bark. Words with multiple meanings. There's bats for baseball, or bats that fly around. There's fans for a team, or fans to cool down. Bowls for soup, or you could bowl a strike. There's waves in the ocean, or you could wave goodbye. Words with multiple meanings. The chorus repeats a lot, so I'll spare you from the repetition of the chorus. Oh, that was the one. This is probably one of my favorite songs that I've written, and got to hear it on the radio. A couple stations down in the valley played this song on the radio. It's all about those walls that we build up, and actually it's more so about tearing those walls down, I should say. It's called Masonry, the Aftermath. I had a revelation. I think we all are masons, building up the walls around us with bricks that we have laid, jealousy, pride, and hate. We need to knock them down. Breaking the walls we hide behind. If you seek out, then you will find. We're not that different, you and I. This is the aftermath. The walls we built up, they have crashed. Yeah, they're falling to pieces, the peace that it brings. If we could only learn to love our enemies. This is a hard-learned lesson. It comes with second guessing. The fear of losing privacy. We block each other out. How about a different route? A way to understanding. Breaking the walls we hide behind. If you seek out, then you will find. We're not that different, you and I. This is the aftermath. The walls we built up, they have crashed. Yeah, they're falling to pieces, the peace that it brings. If we could only learn to love our enemies. This is the wreckage, learning our lessons. And in the wreckage, we discover this is the aftermath. The walls we built up, they have crashed. Yeah, they're falling to pieces, the peace that it brings. If we could only learn to love our enemies. Thank you. Somehow I'm more nervous reading them than singing them.
You can sing them if you want.
So this next poem I'm going to read for you was actually from a song. It worked out quite well because I got a poem and a song from it. It ended up changing and just two different directions. So it's called This Fall. The sun sets below wispy clouds. A mind cloud surrounds. Another day gone, and you are gone. Feeling like a fallen leaf, my thoughts drift and leave. Sometimes lonely, sometimes ornery. Mostly questioning, mostly wrestling. Leaves on the ground, my head pounds, with the realization that this fall has hurt. Another day. Another day. I've got my complaints. Another day. Stuck in these restraints. Swear I'm not a scoffer. What else can you offer? Another day, you whisper so faint. A little out of order here. Okay. Guess it's this way. This next one is called Vain Attempt. Pouring yourself into another vain attempt. They want more, but you don't have anything left. And your soul's desire to keep reaching higher often seems squelched at the drop of a hat. Why this dichotomy, this self-rivalry, surviving, not thriving, traveling, not arriving? Another try, you feel inept. This wasn't the plan in your head. So many days wading through disarray, but you've got to get through, find a way. You see, it isn't in vain. Truthfully, no pain, no gain. In trials, you're tested. You're getting stronger. so you can make it even longer. Don't be disillusioned. You can do it. Another one that I haven't read before, this next one, is called At the Edge. At the edge, we see the beauty that we can only go so far. What's out there? And why can't we know it all? At the edge of trust, you keep beckoning us. We keep making a fuss of what's here and why can't we have it all? At the edge, we struggle with comfort and risk. Our minds race with what ifs. Can we truly be free? And why can't we see it all? At the edge, what a view, if we only knew all you have for us. I have 3 more to share from the book. This next one is called Moving. The world is in moving motion. Waves crash in the ocean. There's so much commotion that you can't see. Step outside and feel the breeze. In a few hours it could be blowing by a mountain peak. We all move toward what we need, and what we really need should be moving us. Again, I feel a little bit more comfortable sharing some of these poems here. So thank you so much. It's very nice to see a place like this supporting the arts, and I have this great longing for that to happen more and more. This one is called I Pray. I pray, search for meaning. Sometimes I talk to the ceiling. Sometimes I'm disbelieving. I search for the words, but still I pray. Don't know if you hear me. Sometimes quietness is scary. Sometimes I just sit there staring. Lack of trust interferes, but still I pray. So much to say either way, open to possibility. Sometimes I should speak, sometimes better to listen. Whatever conditions, be still and pray. I have one more for this time, and this was, I believe this was one of the last ones that made it into the book. I could have gone on forever with this one. I chose, the structure I chose was the blank either is or are blank. So it follows that whole thing. And this one is kind of a response to just the last couple years and everything that's going on in the world, and just feeling a lot of that. So it's called The Plot is Plunging. The sky is fading. The maps are changing. The course is diverging. The plot is plunging. The dream is disdained. The colors are filtered. The land is pillaged. The portrait is cheapened. The teachers are restless. The hopes are offensive. The lessons are endless. The value is questioned. The homes are infested. The choices are weighted. The families are feuding. The food is wasted. The past is mistaken. The warnings aren't hastened. The space is taken. The leaders are blameless. The purpose is placement. The God is entertainment. The options are flagrant. The future is vacant. The screens are facades. The wallet is thinned. The shortcuts are pardoned. The products are extensive. The language is stained. The organs are failing. The armor is plastic. The minor key is playing. The art is tasteless. The interest is faceless. The stigma is ripened. The consciousness is basic. Thank you all so much for listening so attentively.
I promised Peggy one poem. I've been bad, apparently. I really appreciated your poems. They were absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Absolutely delightful. Derek Streeter, London, England. Steve is my husband. And I have been really, really angry since the last time we met with what is happening in the world. Angry, frustrated, I had to write a poem for a catharsis. And it helped me. I hope it helps you. It is a prose poem, so it doesn't have any structure. Normally I write poems with structure. I call this poem The Only Really Important Question for 2026. It starts about my parents. Mom and Dad were simple, honest, gentle people. They were in their 20s in 1939, London, England. They would certainly ask me the only really important question for 2026. The question comes later, and you will already know the answer. World War II was also very real for them in London. They married in 1940, the year of the Blitz. As they left the church, an air raid was blasting homes and people, and they spent their wedding night in an air raid shelter, singing, "They'll Always Be in England." Dad served in the RAF, Royal Air Force, 1942 to 1945, fighting heat and bugs and the enemy in the jungles of India. Mum suffered through 5 years of Nazi bombings, 3 without my dad, and played the piano in air raid shelters. Later, they taught me about all this and about Germany in the 1930s. Hitler was legally elected, promising an economic boom, which actually came. He proceeded to threaten, jail, torture, and murder his critics. He dismissed elections. He unleashed the brown shirts and then the Gestapo everywhere to attack critics, immigrants, Jews, homosexuals, gypsies, anyone not white or blonde or blue-eyed. He set up camps to house and murder them. He organized the Hitler Youth to brainwash them and sanitize true German history. By banning and burning books, he destroyed the free press. He continuously lied to the German people and invaded and subjugated other nations and imposed his Nazi ideology on them. He invented a new motto, Deutschland über alles, Germany above all others, or Germany first, which resulted in a world war, starvation, devastation, torture, the eventual imposition of communism in Eastern Europe and Asia, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, and over 60 million murders worldwide. Now, does much of this sound like 2026 America? German voters for Hitler were responsible for a better economy for a few years. Were they also responsible for the millions of deaths? Is a group of voters in America also responsible and complicit in the rejection of irrefutable scientific evidence, in the attack on the independence of the media and the judiciary, in the transformation of the EPA into the Environmental Pollution Agency, in 200,000 worldwide deaths for the lack of US aid, in children suffering and dying from measles, in children starving for the lack of SNAP programs, in the death of diversity, equality, and inclusion, and finally, in the slow death of the Constitution. Washington, Jefferson, Adams, Lincoln, and now Jesse Jackson, and before John Lewis, and the 1776 signers and the Constitution writers look down on us. And Lincoln would probably talk of a third birth of freedom in November 2026 or November 2028. All would ask with my parents the only really important question in 2026, and you all know the answer. Is America great again yet?
I'm Don Howard. I live in Sister Bay here. No place I'd rather be in the whole world. This is very short, but it's fitting for the day, I think. It's entitled, even though this is spring, it's entitled Winter High. Light shines iridescent through the diamonds in the snow. Blues, golds, and emerald greens set each small flake aglow. Winter's mantle covers all as jacks and jonquils rest. Snowbirds huddle close for warmth and preen and fluff their breasts. Blue-gray shadows dance across the grifted wooded glens, and deer trace winding tracks across the snow and through the gems. The sun brings to settle in the crisp, clear, cloudless sky, creating there for you and me another winter high. I was going to read two because they were short, but she said I couldn't do it.
I have to go find Sarah. Oh, there she is.
I was watching the whole time on a device to make sure the stream didn't fall. So my poem is proof that anyone can be a poet, and you probably didn't know it. So I was so compelled and just excited to hear Brandon's talk. I really appreciated the promo that he wrote. I shared the promo with the community, and just how his writings try to comprehend the beauty and the pain around us as we live these complicated and brief lives, and just the willingness to admit that life is difficult. We tend to want to sugarcoat things, and it doesn't happen all the time, but just the realization that it's difficult, and there's a lot of beauty around us to help in those difficult situations. And one of those difficult situations someone recently told me was, you know what, Sarah, small talk is really hard for me. And I'm like, yeah, small talk is hard. And I was batting around some ideas. I'm like, what if instead of small talk where we revert to talking about the weather, what if we had a library of our favorite karaoke songs, and in responses to how are you doing today, you could blurt out the chorus of one of the songs that you were really feeling. Or if you had a library of haikus, or that would be fun. So my poem is called Seeking Serendipitous Spirituality in the Eyes of My Spotify Playlist. I don't want to be. I drove all night. I lived. I'm alive. I'm gonna be 500 miles. I say a little prayer. I try. It's gotta be you. I wanna get better. No JKs. Leaping straight to the L's, catching jets to Brazil with little light, into a lion's long dark night.
No one else has a poem to read? Then, Brandon, would you finish up with a couple? Thank you.
That was one of the great things about last night, seeing all the different styles. There were almost everybody in the room was a poet and was reading. So there was 25 people reading. It was over 2 hours, and it was a lot to take in, but it was also beautiful time, as it is tonight. It's just from the few of us and seeing the different styles. So, again, I'm just very thankful for this opportunity. So, I have 3 to close us out, I guess. This first one is hiding on me. There it is. This one's called Special. There's a special place, an escape, a refuge. There's a special way, an erase, a redo. There's a special embrace. I am safe and renewed. There's a special day, and I wait, a return. Well, I didn't write too many poems or poetry in college, but I did write this one. It was kind of a blank era of poetry for me. Probably because I was in a rock band, focusing on writing the lyrics, not the poetry. But you might notice in this a certain verse in the Bible. It's loose, maybe a little bit of liberties with some of these lines. It's kind of my answer to the question, what is love? And that's what it's called, what is love? Love is life, and life is love. For one displayed and one betrayed. It is the deep pools of desire and sets the heart afire. Some mistake it, some forsake it. Love is patient, worth the waiting. It cherishes truth. It's like flowers in bloom. It's kind and it's beautiful. It will always get you through. Protects and it hopes, has no need to boast. Love was first and love will last. The forever song as time does pass. So I started with the first poem in the book. I'm going to end with the last poem in the book. And I will have these out there for sale, as well as my CDs, and you get a free bookmark if you get one of these too. I also have, I'm talking a lot more than I thought I would tonight, but I also have, it's based off of my children's album. I made an activity book for kids. So that was technically my first book. But they're different, so you can find that out there as well if you have any kids or grandkids or whatever. This one is called Evergreen, and I think when I was trying to put this book together, just kind of like a set list, like with music, it's very important. Your first and last song, very important. So this one just felt right to end with. It's called Evergreen. The pine needles reaching up, evergreen. The sap sticking to the trunk, evergreen. Growing through any weather, evergreen. Sturdy and rooted together, evergreen. Bearing the weight of snow and rain through another season's change. The wind may cause it to sway, but it dances anyway. Green growth and hope through winter's hold. Can I be like that tree? It seems like I should be, reaching up, sticking to love, growing through, rooted to truth, whatever season, living with reason, finding hope, keeping a hold, evergreen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Okay. Well, enjoy some goodies in the other room, everyone. Everybody. I was ready to hear.